Salutations, my Fallout lovers. It is Matty here today, bringing you another Fallout wishlist video. Now, before anything, be sure to check out the link in the description of my previous video. That is the return of the Fallout 3 Tops series, so be sure to check that out. So, usually this series features every Thursday, but just for this week we had to move it back a day. But it is created by your comments, so be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you would like to see in the next installment of the Fallout franchise. If your comment is awesome enough, you'll be featured along with two other commenters, just like Atticus Fresh. And he says, how about the ability to shoot through walls? Like in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, when you shoot through a door, there's a part of it missing from where you shot. I hate having an enemy in my line of fire, but can't hit them because of a piece of plywood protecting them. I really like this idea. Now, when we first started this series, we kind of went on this huge grand scale of things, like these impossible things like destructible environment, being able to blow up a wall and stuff, and that would obviously destroy the game. It's an open world game. I don't think it would really work that well. But the little destruction and bullet penetration would totally work. Since it's going to be most likely a first-person shooter when Fallout finally comes out, obviously we're going to want to see some form of bullet penetration. Like he said, I don't like it that I can shoot into a little piece of plywood, or sometimes there will be a collision on like a bush, for example, and I won't even be able to shoot through that and hit the enemy. And that can get very frustrating and make the game feel incredibly dated. Obviously, to fix this, you give the gun some bullet penetration, allow me to shoot through some objects. But I also like the idea of the little destructibility he has here. When we did discuss destructible environment at one point, we did talk a little bit about like blowing up fences, stuff like that, you know, the little destruction. You know, it's permanently gone after that. But yeah, shooting through a door, but primarily the focus here is not the destructible environment, but the fact that you can actually shoot through objects, and so that your enemy can't just run away and hide behind the most random object in the world and be protected from it. This could also kind of help in when you're thinking about shooting through objects. Maybe you could shoot exploding barrels and blow up your enemies as well. That's kind of something that's surprising that wasn't in Fallout as a first-person shooter, but nonetheless, this is little things that can be added. So I'm hoping if Bethesda ever watches this stuff, they hear these little tiny suggestions, these little tweaks they can make, and add them to the game. That's the point of this series. Anyways, moving on to a suggestion that I can never know how to word, but shaked but not stirred put it perfectly. How about a bookmarking system where you can mark like up to 10 places on the map, and a marker stays on the map until you take it down? So what I like about this is where you can mark up to 10 places. I've been saying in every single Bethesda game, I would love it if there was either a search bar, or as he says here, B, this is the other option, I can never think of how to word it, a bookmarking system for areas, because Bethesda games are littered with areas, obviously, and sometimes for me, you guys have seen, if you used to watch my streams and stuff, you saw me struggling to find so many areas, because it's like I've been there a million times, but there's so many areas that I can't just memorize them where they all are. Especially if you're new to a game, it'd be awesome if you could use a search system and quickly type in on your Pip-Boy where you want to go, and it can kind of narrow down the search as you type in the words, similar to like the PSN store, actually, kind of like that. But also this bookmarking system where you could save your favorite areas, so really you could just save the main cities and always quickly fast travel there. This would kind of make accessing the map a lot easier, and finding areas you've already been to previously, obviously, a million times easier. Unless you're like me and many other people who have spent hundreds upon hundreds of hours in Skyrim. I think I spent over 200 on my 360 copy, and I almost got 40 on my PC copy. So yeah, I've spent quite a bit of time on Skyrim, so it's pretty easy for me to find areas there. But that's one way of solving the issue, because Fallout's map is quite flat, and it's very hard to detect where areas are, where in Skyrim, since it was 3D, whenever you brought up the map, you were basically getting an overlay of the world. It was actually pretty easy to find where places were because you were familiar with the world itself. So that's another alternative, but I really want to focus on this bookmarking system here, and I think this is a great idea where you can kind of save little files into your Pip-Boy and remember certain areas you've been to, so you can go back to them at a later date. I think it's a great idea. Thank you, Shake Not Stir, for like putting into words what I've always wanted. Anyways, the final suggestion is really not a suggestion, but it's interesting enough that it's actually something we've never covered in the series before. And Jacob Bowridge says, you should get the Iron Sights mod. Now, Maddie, it's Iron Sights, dude. It was in Fallout New Vegas, dude. Why are you suggesting it, dude? Well, Fallout 3 somehow managed to forget this and made only a zooming in system where you zoomed in on the enemy, but it really didn't change much. Fallout New Vegas remembered it, but their aim down sight system really was kind of, I don't know, the idle sway was way too much, and when I was shooting, the recoil was like it seems so fake. It didn't seem like a lot of time was put into it. But I would like Bethesda to work on this first-person, this aim-down sights, the iron sights themselves. I would really like them to work on them, because there are certain iron sights in this game, in Fallout New Vegas, where I think it's like the hunting rifle or something, where it literally is like a giant metal circle on the top of the gun, and then you look through a tiny little pea hole to shoot through it. And it's just the weirdest thing to aim with, because it blocks out everything else on your screen. I like normal iron sights, quite honestly. I'm not saying every single iron sight in Fallout is weird, but I'm just saying that this is something I'd like to have modified a little bit and worked on to make it a more realistic feel, like I said, with the idle sway or the recoil. Stuff like that needs to be tweaked, but just more so to cover that, Bethesda, please don't forget to put down an ADS option. I don't want to just zoom in on my enemies. I want to be able to aim down the sights of my modeled gun and pop them, to put it simply. But yes, those are the 3 wishes. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope there's no one complaining that they're going to stop watching the show because of the fact that I don't get to see 1 of 400 comments every video that comes once a week. So I do apologize if I miss your comment, but I love when you guys suggest things. This series is created by you, so I apologize if I let you down. But trust me when I say reading through all these comments is quite a hassle. But nonetheless, I really do hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to let me know what you would like to see in the next installment of the Fallout franchise in the comments down below. As always, if your comment is awesome enough, you will be featured in this series along with 2 other commenters. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, keep my discount codes in mind. Other than that, my Fallout lovers, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.